G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here. Welcome back to the channel. Today is part 2 of the SB CIVIC VTEC project. Where we left off yesterday was suspension out of the car. Today we'll be doing some of the exhaust, not all of it. Not all the parts have arrived yet. This is where I've got up to so far, improving my welding skills and creating a new custom exhaust that flows a lot better and fits a lot better without knocking or rubbing on anything. So I'm going to stick that on and show you where I've gotten up to. I ran out of gas last night, but I got a fresh gas bottle ready to go. So no more excuses. So all the suspension's out. All of this stuff is going to be on Marketplace for sale. So if anyone's looking for some coilovers that need a rebuild or some 14-inch rims, wheel spacers or exhaust parts, they're all on Marketplace, so go grab them. Still have the mystery wheels there ready to go. So I've got to paint one of them because only 3 of them came in the correct color. One's going to get painted. Would be a nice day to do it today, but can't really be stuffed. Sitting down and scrubbing and sanding back the finish on that one to get it ready for paint. So I'll leave that to another day. I'm going to get stuck into welding though, because it's a bit of fun and I enjoy it. So I'm going to get into that. I'll put the exhaust on and show you where we're at so far. One thing that I do want to address is this awesome looking downpipe. It looks kind of like a turbo downpipe where it merges the collectors into one. You would appear that that is seamlessly done, but if you look inside, it's going to be difficult to see. But see, there's a splitter down there. It's divided and it doesn't go all the way down. So what's happening on this is the exhaust is going down one side and flowing freely into a 2.5-inch exhaust. This one's going down and hitting a dead stop and then having to sort of build up on itself and then go out. So it doesn't flow at all. So it's a lot of work for me, but what I'm going to do is grind off this section here, cut a big ugly patch out of it with the 4-inch, and then stick my stepper drill in there and blast out that hole so that the exhaust gas can flow down and around there as it should. Bit of a stuff around. It's not going to be pretty, but I'm going to heat wrap it all anyway. So all the best for the customer. I can't let that leave my garage with a big restrictive plate in there just blocking everything off. Yeah, that's just my nature. I can't leave things alone that aren't right, so I'm going to fix that. But first I'll show you where we're up to underneath the car. So here we have the exhaust. That's the really nice ceramic coated extractors. Not a lot of room. Before the exhaust basically went right here and then straight down, and it basically hugged and rubbed underneath the bottom of the sump. I've managed to step it down and give us a bit of room. I can actually get my fingers up and around there now. And then we've got room for the high flow cat. And then under here, we're going to put a flex joint and then a flange. Here it is on the other side, really tight up against this lower cross member. But before this rubbed right along here, now I've got 5+ mil of gap, and then it opens right up. Can fit in the high flow cat. We've got room over and above everything. So much nicer. Next, what I need to do is fit up a flex joint somewhere here, which is going to give me a bit of flex to get around everything. And if the engine wants to move, although it's pretty tight on here, there's not a lot of engine movement on these mounts that they've got, but that'll give us room through here to clearance. Everything there, it's pretty tight. And then reducer straight down to a 2-inch pipe around the gear shift, and then a hot dog in that tunnel opening there. So I'm just waiting for the rest of that to show up. So first I'm going to do a bit of exhaust work here. Just contemplating whether or not I put a straight piece just here, or an extra bend. Not sure. Probably an extra bend, I'd say. Alright, so I've hacked off the exhaust collector, and as you can see here, there's all sorts of layers and folds and things, and the big flat plate there. So the exhaust gas has got to come down here and then hit there and not go anywhere. So the whole purpose of me hacking this up is to bore out a big hole here with the drill, the stepper drill, open that right up so the exhaust gas can go through, and then follow in to collect with the rest of the exhaust. So you can see there it is. Pretty sad that the person that spent all the time and making this really good looking collector didn't actually think about flow or care about the customer's goals or needs for the car. So that's really, really bad. So I'm going to fix that up now, drill that out, and then hit this with the grinder, flapper wheel, smooth it all out, and then I'm just going to wrap a plate around there. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to flow, and flow is what we want. Okay, so after much grinding and noise making, I've managed to hack this out, as you'll see. And now I've also fabricated up a piece that's going to cover this. I used another piece of pipe and cut it on weird funny angles. Here it is here, and that's going to live just here. Now it doesn't fit perfectly, but nothing that a big hammer can't do or can't fix. So I'm going to weld it down this side here and across the top there, and then I'm going to bash it into place and close up as much of that gap as I can just with this piece of pipe. There's still going to be holes and things which I'll have to fill and smash in, but it's a start. I'm not a master fabricator, but I'm pretty proud of this, solving an issue, trying something new, and yeah, let's get welding it up. so the camera died during the time lapse, but how much time lapse can one guy watch? Anyway, that's it. It's done. It's all nicely welded and ground back, if I do say so myself. It's opened up, as you can see in there. So now it actually works and flows. Sure, it's not perfectly smoothed and ported, but it definitely works now. You can see straight down there, there's some chunky bits in there, but I really could not get the grinder in there. It was just really poorly made from the start as far as flow goes. It's now much, much, much better. So I think that will be fine, and a huge improvement as to what it was. And, you know, if I made that in one go, rather than have to fix up someone else's bodge, I reckon that would have been all right. But we've got the lobster tail down here, high flow 2.5 inch cat, some more lobster back there, and then the flex joint. I'll throw it on under the car so you can see what it's going to look like. Okay, so here it is from the front. Nice and smooth, open up so the runners come down here and join into the collector. Lobster tail here, high flow cat, and then we have the flex joint. So there it all goes so far. I'm just waiting for a reducer to go from the flex joint down to 2 inch. There'll be a straight shot all the way down to the fuel tank, but right in the middle there'll be a hot dog resonator. The hot dog resonator showed up in the mail. Here it is here. You can see straight through it. It's going to take a bit of the buzz out of the exhaust, and being 2 inch, the overall diameter is going to fit nicely in that tunnel, so I'll tuck it up nice and tight, nice and high, and then that'll give way for, we've got some stainless steel mandrel bent 45s and some 90s here. I'm just mainly waiting for the rear muffler and some rod that I ordered to bend up some hangers and the little hangers. I ordered some really cool rubber silicon red hangers. Couldn't help myself. So they're coming for the car. But yeah, that's episode 2 of the early 70s build VTEC Mini. Not really, but it's kind of like a mini Civic Generation 1. Tons and tons of work coming on this car. So make sure you spool up, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Next video, I'm pretty sure it'll be painting the wheel, taking off the bumpers, and possibly doing the fuel cell, depending on if the parts I've ordered turned up. I've got some pretty custom things happening. So for the fuel cell, I'm going to adapt 2 of these factory Honda Civic in-tank fuel pumps. I'm going to try and adapt this into the factory 70s fuel pump. I do have a new fuel pump on its way, so we'll get rid of that really, really noisy, I think it's a Bosch 44, so we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of the 10 different fuel filters and just go with one standard sort of fuel filter, so that'll be sweet. We'll mount it all on the factory stuff, so it uses all factory OEM Honda bits. But I'll need to get some bulkhead fittings to run the Walbro 450 fuel pump that we're having in there. So that will definitely last the car if ever we decide to supercharge it, run E85, boost it, whatever we plan to do. Probably just E85 and some cams would be sweet on this thing. Maybe even some quad throttles. That would be a screamer. But anyway, sky's the limit. First, we need to get the car roadworthy. Suspension's got to go back in, so I'm waiting on strut tops for that. But yeah, stick around, guys. There is tons of content on this really, really interesting build. If anyone thinks of a name for the car, make sure you put the name in the comments. Yeah, I'm open to suggestions. It needs a name. This is a really, really cool car. So yeah, definitely give me some ideas in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you later.